Episode 5, Trev's Collectibles, here on Trev TV. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, hope this finds you well. Despite what's going on with that and all that stuff, I really hope, from the bottom of what's left of my heart, I really hope everything's going well for you, your family, your loved ones, anybody who might apply to your circle. Just hope to come out of this soon. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about something else. That's why I'm doing a collectibles episode. It feels like been so long since I've done one of these, and it's because I have. As in, not done one of these in so long. That's probably about time I did one. So, without having said anything else, let's get started. So for today's collectibles episode, I'm going over something that I came into, I want to say a month ago. It might have been a little longer than that, but for sure a month ago. And I don't know how prevalent a thing this is with other James Bond collectors, but here's what I've got to show you. Yeah, it's that heavy. 50 years of James Bond movie posters. It's that thick. And this is just the outer box. It's the other side. Obviously, this is not mint, but it doesn't need to be. It's going in my Bond collection. That's the important thing. And again, given the title, this is part of the 50-year anniversary celebration, so you won't see anything involving Spectre in this, and you won't see much from Skyfall, but there is some Skyfall in there. At the time of this release, so 2012, this would cost you $55 Canadian. Let me zoom in on that. At least get a better focus. Come on. There we go. $55 in Canada. I don't know how that translates to today's dollars, if today's dollars even mean anything anymore, but whatever the case might be, this cost $55 in 2012. And that's really all that matters. I came into this for dirt cheap, actually absolutely free. This was gifted to me from one of my younger brothers, and you want to go through it with me? Let's go through it with me. I have to stand up for this because otherwise I'm filming horizontally, or up and down, not side to side. I'd rather film side to side. I find it's so much easier to do it that way. But let's take this out of the box. There we go. Anyway, here's your front cover. Going through Dr. No. Here's your back cover. Skyfall. Side. It's no different than the side on the box, other than just the color. And let's get into this. Now, I'll try and timestamp this as best as I can. Again, the whole thing about not being mint. But again, it doesn't need to be. And it comes with 2 freebie posters off the side here. Dr. No and Octopussy. So that's a hell of a nice start. Inside front, there's a nice picture of the late great Sir Roger Moore. 50 years of movie posters. For the record, this is really my first time going through it on its own. I have glanced through it myself, but I haven't really gone through it page for page. Let's start off with Dr. No. It even includes Never Say Never Again and that. Not too fond of either one of them myself, but that's just me. I mean, there are people who are fans of at least Never Say Never Again. I'm not one of them, but let's get started with Dr. No. And this is the poster we're all used to. The UK edition. Obviously just like a poll poster, or UK advanced posters as they call it in the book. UK advance. So from 62. This is US. I think this is all US unused concept designs, as this one calls it. US. Lots of US, obviously. Some lobby cards. Nice shot of Miss Tarot. Some more lobby cards. Now we're going into the Japanese. And these aren't actually bad shots at all. And it's probably because it is just Japanese. French. More French. More French. West Germany. Yeah, there was once upon a time when West Germany and East Germany were countries. If you don't know your geography, I hope you do. This is the Italian one, and the same one that was in the sleeve of the beginning of the book here. More Italian. Italian photo busts. Same thing as like the lobby cards, I would think. But again, nice shots. Nice shots. Australian. Yeah, it was even huge in Australia. Nice little winky face. This one is Turkish. Love the art. Love the art. Danish. Swedish. And Spanish. Love this one. Love it. Just the use of the colors and the abstracts and everything about this one. I love this one. And that's about it for Dr. No. This is the UK. Obviously, the book kind of imposes on that one, but it's still a nice poster. Unused poster concept. If you're wondering where I'm getting all my info from, it's right there. So I'm just reading it to you, essentially. Another unused poster concept. And another unused poster concept. It's amazing how many unused they have. Another UK. And that'll probably be the second side or the counterpart to it. Here's the one everybody's used to. The US sheet. And the US insert. 69,000 James Bond fans living living in a throbbing world of hot-blooded excitement. Another US one. Lobby cards. Damn. Boat chase. Come get dinner. Italian. Say what you will about the Italians, they know how to use color. French. Another French. Yummy. Spanish. Japanese. They're really good at photo editing in Japan. Another Japanese one sheet. And another Japanese one sheet. Swedish. Belgian. Another French. French door panel. Mexican lobby card. How about in Greek? And even in Indian. You can definitely see that by the time From Russia came out, it was really getting global. West Germany. Danish. He almost looks like a vampire in this one. Another West German. And that about does it for From Russia with Love. Goldfinger. You can expect there would be a lot as far as Goldfinger is concerned, just because of how big it got. Again, this is the UK. So you can expect a lot of different countries, I'm sure. Another one from the UK. And another UK. It's the one we're all used to. US insert. Door panels. Num num num. Sure, this was 1964, but damn. Japanese sheet. And there's basically the same sheet, just blown up. Again, Japanese. Another Japanese. Subway half sheet. And the Japanese half sheet reissue. I wonder, for anybody who grew up in this time, if the posters were that freely available, if they still have them. Swedish. Because I can imagine originals. Not so much ones in this book. West German. But originals. Yugoslavia. Danish. Imagine if you have the original posters from this time frame in mint shape. What they're worth. French. And another French. And some Italian. Of course, again, this was 1964, so I can imagine the imagination wasn't all there, Australian, when it comes to how to really jazz up a poster. I imagine that comes later. That's it for Goldfinger. Thunderball. As I've said time and time again, this was the first Bond film I saw front to back. Not so much stop it, watch it, stop it, watch it. UK. James Bond does it everywhere. Literally. It's the one we're used to. Same thing, essentially, as the UK, just condensed. More US. But as I was saying when I was talking about Goldfinger, if anybody still has any of these posters in mint condition, I don't know how freely they were available back in the 60s, but if they still have them, oh, they must be killing it. More US door panels. Let's take a moment and appreciate Fiona Volpe. Yeah, I grew up in the wrong time. Biggest Bond of all. And at the time, it probably was. Well, I mean, Goldfinger was obviously bigger and better and badder, but Japanese. But for the time, I can imagine Thunderball was a nice treat too, despite its continuity errors, despite the fact that story-wise, it could have been better. But West Germany. Belgian. Finnish and Swedish. And Australian. Not suitable for children. There you go. In a sense, this video is not suitable for children either. Argentinian. As I said earlier, we are getting very international now. It's not so much just Italy, Sweden, Finland anymore. Now you got Danish, you got Argentinian, French, big Danish. You got Yugoslavia. I imagine it'll be some time before we start seeing some Russians. Hopefully we see some, but more Italian. And more Italian. And that's it for Thunderball. Part 1 of the video I'm dreading. Again, I'm trying to timestamp this, so if you're like me and you don't view this as part of the collection, then feel free to fast forward, because if I was you, I'd do the same. I don't know what it is about this one. Maybe it's because it is complete spoof. Maybe it's because it's just dumb. I don't know what else to tell you, but I am not a fan of this Casino Royale. That's why I'm really trying to burn through this as fast as I can. This is the French panel. Some US door panels. If more for the fact that I knew who Ursula Andress was, I'd swear this was like just some kind of model agency trying to kind of portfolio thing. West Germany. I don't know. I can't put my finger really on what I don't like about this, other than I just don't like it. Italian. Of course, it could totally be Woody Allen. Ursula Andress. Peter Sellers. Joanna Pettit. Japanese. I get it. It's 67. They're really trying to go for the psychedelic look. I get that. But good waste of time. Good waste of Orson Welles' time. Yes, that's Orson Welles. Spanish. I don't know if this is the first time I'm saying Spanish, but Spanish. More Spanish. And that's it for Casino Royale. Thankfully. You only live twice. Now we're getting back on sane ground. This is the UK. More UK quads. Obviously not Connery's best James Bond film, and it shows. It really does. I mean, I might be the only guy who believes, US, that Connery just looked and conveyed that he was just not having any fun doing this one, but that's the impression I got when I watched You Only Live Twice. I still get it to this day. US door panels. Every time I watch this, and it almost makes it hard to watch, knowing that they recorded Connery's lack of interest on film and managed to make a good bank on it too. UK, US lobby cards. Yugoslavia. Some West Germany. I mean, it could have been so much better if, you know, he just was a little more invested. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, I could be wrong. Japan. Australian. But like I said, I mean, for me, it just feels hard to watch. Swedish. Knowing that his interest isn't there, and it almost feels like he's faking having fun. That's what, you know, not an uncommon thing, I'm sure, but Italian. And some Italian photo busts. So, some nice ones here. And that does it for You Only Live Twice. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Now, see, here's where I think, and this is just what I think. You're free to agree, disagree. They did it all wrong in the advertising. They should have left Bond anonymous. Like that, almost. Just a little more anonymous. This is the US. Another US, the one that we're all used to. Because the whole of Lazenby was that, you know, he was an unknown. More US lobby cards. So, because he was an unknown, they should just, oh, let's appreciate Diana Rigg. If it weren't for Luciana Paluzzi, she would definitely be my favorite Bond girl. But now I'm getting off topic. Because Lazenby was such an unknown actor, they should have just left all those shots with him in it, in their advertising, blank. As far as, like, his face was concerned. West Germany. The one I just showed you was French. Japan. More Japanese. And another Japanese. A good photo work, though, I will say that. Italian. French door panel. And Italian. See, at least with that, they kind of tried. And almost got it, too. Australian. Swedish. German. Not east, not west. German. It's Italian. More Italian. More Italian. Diana Rigg. Damn. Damn. This is an unused poster concept. Not a bad picture. And it almost gets what I'm going for. It's another unused. This one doesn't. But that is it for Honor Majesty's Secret Service. Now, I almost wish these weren't so sideways. That way the crease doesn't take away anything. But thankfully, the same poster looks like it was used in multiple languages, multiple countries. This is US. Australian. Spanish. Italian. I didn't mind diamonds at all. UK. I thought it could have been a hell of a lot better. US lobby cards. It could have been much, much better. But this was 1971. Oh, don't even get me started on that. Japanese. As far as capturing color and look and appeal, Swedish, and all that stuff, it got it, except for this one. Some Italian lobby cards. I'll never understand Henderson becoming Blofeld. But at the same time, that's why I don't cast movies. So, beyond my control. Unused. Another unused. That's basically it for diamonds. Live and let die. Roger Moore's first in the foray. Again, using the same kind of poster concept as diamonds. Not that I'm complaining, you know, whatever floats the boat, whatever makes it work. US. Japanese. Not a bad film for Moore to start out in. I will say that. Again, not keeping it anonymous, but again, with Roger Moore being Simon Templar before this, UK, you can't really be anonymous, I guess. Or UK. Swedish. You know, being Roger already had the star quality, yeah, you can't say, hey, here's our unknown guy, because he's not really unknown. US, lobby sheets. Some good shots here, I won't deny that. Hard to believe that's The same guy from The Running Man. Sex! You're always going to get everybody's attention with sex. West Germany. That's death, not Todd. That is German for death. More German. Gluck. Greek. Say what you will, Cyrillic is a pretty neat language. And the characters in the alphabet are something else. Italian. That doesn't even look like Roger Moore at all. Nice shot of solitaire. Another Italian. Unused. This one kind of gives me Clockwork Orange vibes, to be perfectly honest. More unused. And that is it for Live and Let Die. Golden Gun. Again, same poster design as the last two. It's a good shot of the bullet. It's UK. Not Moore's best Bond film. I will say that. I've always said that. More US. This one's US as well. I've always said that this was his weakest one. If not the weakest in the franchise, barring the two that don't really count. US lobby cards. Especially that. Oh, another one of those don't get me started. Late great Christopher Lee. Not only was Christopher Lee a Bond villain, not only was Christopher Lee probably one of the best modern villains in Lord of the Rings, but he's also quite an accomplished metalhead. Had a couple albums out. Don't believe me? Check it out. This is the UK. I've lost my charm. US Advance. And breaking down how the gun is made. For Christmas, 1974. Italian. More Italian. I might give this film a lot of crap, Swedish, but there are elements that actually make this film good, such as her velocity. I hope I said that right. And even Maud Adams. But that is it for the man with the golden gun. Love me. And this is where Moore kind of came into his own, as far as like James Bond as the character. He just does everything right this time, and it benefits hugely, immensely. US. Here we go. Thai. Before we go to Japanese. Australian. Italian. Like, I can imagine if this film was not successful, Japanese, what it would have held for a guy like Roger Moore. Would he have still had the role? Would it have mattered? U.S. bus panels. Like, to come into one of these bus panels, oh, that would have been something else. Good shot of the Lotus. And maybe that's something for debate. If The Spy Who Loved Me wasn't successful, would Moore have still been James Bond? Lobby cards? I don't know, just something I've always thought of. Because you got to remember, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun. You know, two films that weren't necessarily the best, but they were made. Sweden. If this one would have stunk, do you think he would have still made Moonraker and beyond? I don't know. I don't think he would have. Hungarian. But that's just what I think. Some Italian. And if not, if this would have flopped and they would have said, hey, we're done, who would have been in the role? Would it have been a good time for Dalton to come in? Would have been someone else? Let me know what you think. UK door panel. Nice big old shot of Sir Roger and his bell bottoms. UK. Another UK. Unused poster concept. And another unused. And a third unused. With some of the Egyptians. That's it for The Spy Who Loved Me. Moonraker. Moonraker will always hold a special place in my heart. Not because it was good, not because it was bad. Because it was made in came out in 1979. If you haven't figured that out yet, that's the year I was born. U.S. One cheat for the U.S. What do I think of the film, though? Oh, I almost feel like they try and do too much at once in this film. You got your space story, yes. Mixed in with a spy story, mixed in with country and western, more U.S. near the end. And I've never understood that part, why he has to ride a horse. More U.S. So your lobby cards. Play it again, Sam. Holly Goodhead. Hell of a name, Holly Goodhead. There's the gondola in Venice. U.S. bus panels. No, I would still love to find any of these older ones in mint shape. Chinese. I think this is the first time I've said Chinese in this entire video. Some Japanese. Overall, I don't think Moonraker is bad. Not Man with the Golden Gun bad. West Germany. I think it could have been a lot better myself, but I get what they were going for, given what all came out at the time. That is it for Moonraker. We're halfway there. Your eyes only. Obviously the poster we grew up, or we're at least known to. I mean, some of you might have grown up with this poster. I'm glad Moore had this film to bounce back with. I mean, let's all face facts. Despite what the box office said, Moonraker was not the best story. This, however, was. I think when you strip down all the science fiction to it, with all the Q gadgets and everything like that, you strip all that away, and you get just a natural, organic story. It comes out really good. This is all US lobby cards. Such is the case in here. This came out really good because there was no unbelievability to it. Not saying a lot of what came out was unbelievable, but a lot of what came out, especially with a lot of the Q gadgets and stuff like that, became unbelievable. UK. UK. Unfortunate thing, though, is right around here is when Sir Roger starts showing his age. I get it. Everybody ages. Everybody gets old. Japanese. But when you're in a role like James Bond, last thing you want to come across as is old. Japanese. More Japanese. French. I feel like I haven't said French in a while. I guess it's just that time. I guess. Swedish. And that is it for your eyes only. Octopussy. Obviously, the biggest thing for 83 was Bond versus Bond. UK. And if you're unfamiliar with what I mean by that, then stick around for the one after this. US. If you're a newbie Bond fan and you haven't made it that far into the history, then I guess I'll be the first to tell you after we're done looking at Octopussy posters here. Some more US lobby cards. Again, Roger being Roger, starting to show his age. West Germany. It's kind of a neat little rundown of all the films' names in German. Japanese. The UK. Another Japanese. For Octopussy, I can't complain about the story, though. It's a nice Cold War thriller that includes a lot of the elements of the Cold War. French. Came out October 5th. So if you're born October 5th, 83, happy birthday to you. You got a pretty awesome present. Thai. And that is it for Octopussy. Yeah. If you feel like I feel, free to skip. Never say never again. And this is what I was talking about in 83. If you remember me saying anything in Octopussy about Bond versus Bond. US. Because these both came out in 83. They both had two different actors playing James Bond. And Connery here suffers the Roger Moore problem. Aging. You see it really good there. Japanese. Not saying, you know, don't grow old, Chinese. Not saying don't age. But what I am saying, you want things like this to be believable. You want your leading actor, Thai, you want your leading actor to be believable as the character. Let's not let age be a deterrent here. Italian. There's the reason this was made. Kevin McClory. French door panel. West German door panel. Storyline wise, again, not a huge fan of this one. I don't know if it's because it's unofficial or if it's just because of blatant remake of Thunderball, but not one of my favorites. But thankfully, this is the end of Never Say Never Again. Again, the aging thing. This is where Dalton should have really came in. Or anybody else. US. At this point, I can't believe Roger Moore is James Bond anymore. But at the same time, I mean, I'm sure it was not a decision. UK. That was completely in Moore's ball court. I imagine he wanted to go. But that's just pure speculation of the UK. I mean, I wasn't a fly on the wall then, so I can't really say yes or no one way or the other, but US lobby cards. I can imagine if I'm Roger Moore, if I'm 58 years old, still playing a role that should be reserved for a younger man, I'm definitely exploring that. Got a fever. I need more cowbell. Yeah, I know I completely screwed that one up. I said it wrong, but you know what? It's okay. US insert. French door panel. Story-wise, I get the story. I really do. Christopher Walken as a villain is a great thing. And you never take that for granted when you have Christopher Walken as a villain. Japanese. Another Japanese. Tanya Roberts. Not a bad Bond girl, not the best. But that is it for Review to a Kill. Living Daylights. Now we're getting into the good. One everybody's used to. It's just too bad this script wasn't written with Dalton in mind. If you don't know the story behind it, research The Living Daylights. Research the actors that were considered at the time. And you'll know what I'm talking about. But all in all, great story. Great story. A good debut for Dalton. UK. More UK. Japanese. Unused poster con. This is what they should have done with Her Majesty's Secret Service. Black out the face. Keep it anonymous. Love the cello. More unused poster concepts. That could be a trip staring at that all day. More unused poster concepts. Almost looks like they had good ideas for posters, but none of them worked. If we're coming into this many unused poster concepts. But that is it for the Living Daylights. License to Kill. I honestly do wish this was the first Bond I was introduced to, because after I watched this the first time, I had to watch it about 6 or 7 more times because I thought it was that good. US. Katana for Mortal Kombat, if you're unfamiliar. US. More US. His bad side is a dangerous place to be. At the same time, I think what really hurt License to Kill is what it was competing with. Japanese. Gotta consider it came out Swedish with your Lethal Weapon, with your Indiana Jones, with Batman. US door panel. And I'm not saying if none of those came out, it would have done any better. I don't know. But advanced poster concepts. They'll say license revoked. Which, if you're wise in knowing your James Bond stuff, that was its original title. Another unused poster concept. Love the Miami art. I call it Miami art because stuff like that reminds me of something you'd see in Miami. Another poster concept. Love the iguana. That's awesome. They should use that. Another unused poster concept. I think this might tie into, with all these unused concepts, that might tie into my school of thought as well, that, you know, had it not had to compete with what it had to compete with, it might have been more successful. You might have seen all these posters, but I don't know, really hard to say. That is it for License to Kill. GoldenEye. I know for a lot of people, this was their first James Bond introduction. And I'm not gonna lie, I saw bits and pieces of this before I sat down and watched Thunderball the first time, but I didn't watch enough of this to clue in, or at least to say that, hey, this is going to make me a huge fan. US one sheet, the one we're all used to. I didn't think after this that I would have got as deep into James Bond as I did. Japanese. But yeah, GoldenEye was not responsible for that. Swedish. I would say it was because of GoldenEye I had an interest, but I never took the time to sit down and watch this front to back until after I got into the series as a whole. Some unused concepts. It's interesting seeing some of these unused ones, because you think, hey, what would have happened if they did use them? That's it for GoldenEye. Never dies. Terry Hatcher. This came out right when I was finishing up high school, so just before I really got into it. I really got into Bond after Tomorrow Never Dies, but I never seen Tomorrow Never Dies until I started seeing some of the older ones first. These are all US. I don't know why it happened the way it did. It just happened that way. UK. And I've always been the kind of guy that if I'm going to get into something and I'm going to get into something hard, I want to know as much about it as I can. And that was the reasoning more UK behind watching all the older James Bond movies first before starting to get into the newer ones. It's the one we're all used to, but this is in German. Swedish. Japanese. More Japanese. Advanced poster concepts. That's it for Tomorrow Never Dies. The world is not enough. I almost feel like there was so much more underlining in this movie as opposed to the story they were telling. Like, I mean, I would have never known what Stockholm Syndrome was had it not been for this film. And again, I mean, with a lot of the Brosnan films, this one could have been done so much better. French. But international one sheet. This is why I don't write films, is because they might be better, they might be worse, who knows. There's another Italian. Japanese one sheets. Honestly, I can't really pinpoint what I thought made this a bad film, but it wasn't as bad as much as I'm making it out to be. It's Chinese. Like, again, it could have just been better. UK. Even has the late great Desmond Llewellyn, who, if you're unfamiliar with your history, passed away not long after this came out. I always wondered what her character name was, but now I guess I know. It is just Cigar Girl. It's good to see some supporting cast getting some poster love. Unused character posters. Robert Carlyle made an awesome villain, though. Couldn't stand Goldie. Unused concept art. More unused. Now we just have concept art. And that is it for The World Is Not Enough. Oh, die another day. What can I say about this that hasn't been said? US. Because I'm sure even what I say and what has already been said is not good. US. Like recycling every Bond film up to date. At least this date. And using all the concepts in one movie. Some of it fit well. A lot of it, though, didn't. This is all US. Diamond Acne. Oh, Miranda Frost. She can hurt me. Japanese. All Japanese there. Unused posters. I see a lot of the unused. And some of these unused ones are actually really good. So why they weren't used is something I'll never understand, but reasons, I'm sure. And that is it for Die Another Day. Now here's the real Casino Royale. And I'm thankful they got the name back to do this one because, oh my goodness, there's just not enough good things that can be said about this. And I remember the hostility that everybody had when this came out. International Bus Shelter. Promotional concept. That's awesome. Like everybody and their mothers and their grandmothers. 48 sheet posters, what this one's called. Were pissed that Daniel Craig was chosen. Pissed. And thankfully, advance posters. Thankfully, he was able to knock this one out of the park and prove everybody wrong. And a part of me was really hoping that would happen. And when it did, I was ecstatic. Hence why when it comes to concept poster arts, when it comes to judging a film before it's even made, before it's even released, such as what's going on with the new Batman and Robert Pattinson, it's like, wait till it comes out first and then judge. Such was the case here. You know, I waited till this came out. Taiwan. I waited till this came out before I could even make a judgment. I remember saying the same thing. You know, when he was cast and before this even came out, give him a shot. If he screws it up, that's on them. US. Thankfully, he didn't screw up. Here we go. Russian. This is the first time I've said Russian in this entire video. Unused character concepts. That is it for Casino Royale. I know a lot of people give this one a lot of crap. And to their credit, in their minds, hey, it's rightfully so to them. I have no problem with Quantum. I actually thought it wasn't bad. The UK's. Taiwan. Like, yeah, it went a completely different direction than most Bond films, being a direct sequel. Japanese. And if that's the part that upset people, that's pretty petty. South Korea. But I'll never understand. I don't know if I want to understand people's gripe with it. Mexican. Because just being in my own little bubble. Okay, character teasers. Being in my own little bubble and just enjoying it for what it is, as opposed to joining the mass and not enjoying it, it's good enough for me. Granted, Dominic Green was not the best villain. Miss Fields. Unused advanced concepts. Honestly, not some bad photography here. That is it for Quantum. And the last one we're going to talk about here in this book, Skyfall. And this one is going to be very brief, short, very quick, because that is it. That's the only one there. Then you move into the indexes. Index of artists. And that is it for the book. So that was episode 5 of Trev's Collectibles here on Trev TV. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm glad you did. I'm glad to see that there's that many more Bond fans out there than just myself, because I know there's a lot of them. I've been on many forums, many websites where it is a lot of just James Bond fans, and it's good to see that many of them still. Even though the next Bond film isn't going to be out till November, they're saying, because of that. But patience is a virtue. And, you know, I've seen the last 3 James Bond films on opening day, so this gives me enough time to wait for it to come out. And it will. It's just a matter of when. But either way, if you like this video, give me that thumbs up. If you want to, hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 50 subs that I can almost taste it. So let's get to that mark. If you want to, you can find me on Facebook at Trev's TV. If you want to, you can find me on Instagram at rockstartrev TV. Moving forward, as far as the channel is concerned, as I said in my last video, there's a lot of James Bond content I'm writing up, I'm working on. So expect some of those. I'm sure there'll be other non-James Bond related stuff that I decide to come up with. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting it filmed, getting it out there, and getting it done. But either way, like I said in the beginning, I hope this finds you well. I hope you're around to see more of my content, just as I'd like to be around to see your content. So, having said all that, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more videos from the Trev. Later.